Hello there. Thank you for checking out this episode of Raised on the Radio. I am one half of this show. I am Cole Brocato. My good friend Patrick Blair in Zoom land holding an Indians jersey. Does this mean you're upset that they changed your team to a terrible name? Is that what this means?
Well, it's not a terrible name. Let me just stop you right there. How dare you?
Actually, the name's not bad. The logo is garbage.
The logo so far is suspect. I'm hoping it's a little bit goofy, but I'm not upset. We've talked about this. Look, I just held up the jersey as a goof. I'm still going to wear that jersey. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to throw it away.
Are they going to like fine you for wearing Indians jersey into the ballpark?
I wish they would try. I wish someone, dude, look, when I'm wearing that, and I'll get Guardian stuff. Like I said, I'm not mad. I understand the name change. I understand why. I get it.
Mm-hmm.
I've never really opposed that idea. I do oppose some of the people who don't want the team to be called Indians. And I'll get to that in a second. But look, I'm going to wear that jersey. And if anyone has a problem with it, I've got bullets in the chamber and bullets in the clip. I'm ready to go. I got plenty to say about it. But look,
before you go on your rant here, I want to ask though. So I guess I'm just now thinking about this. I don't know why, but so like with the Cleveland Indians or the Washington Redskins or these teams that have had to change their name, there's millions and millions of dollars in merchandise out there that people still wear to the stadiums and all that kind of stuff. Isn't that kind of weird? Like what are they going to do about that? They can't just tell people they can't wear that into a stadium.
Absolutely not. No.
They can't wear that in public or whatever. So even if they're changing the name of the organization, they're still not changing everything that you're seeing on TV and all the Indians merchandise you're still seeing on TV. That still represents that organization. That's kind of odd.
Yeah, well, look, you can't erase history. We've said that. And I know it's a cliche statement. I know that probably triggers people when I say something like that. And I'm not saying it to be confrontational.
Yeah.
But like you just said, you can't. Someone's going to wear a Chief Wahoo into the stadium.
Yeah.
And, oh, by the way, they might be seen on TV. Look, they're trying to put their best foot forward. I get it. And that's why I don't oppose it. I oppose it because I'm a fan. And I grew up with the Cleveland Indians. Okay. I'm a diehard fan. I get emotional about that team. And it holds a very special place in my heart because my grandfather introduced me to the team. He is the reason that I'm still a fan now as an adult. He is the reason my son is going to be a fan. And I didn't get to know my grandfather. That's all I really, one of the most vivid memories I have of him is that.
I was going to ask. I was going to ask if your grandpa was still with us, and the reason why is because I was curious. Would he be rolling over in his grave right now, knowing?
No, I think he'd be okay.
He'd be all right. Okay.
I think he'd be okay, but yeah, all my grandparents passed away by the time I was 7 years old. I haven't had grandparents growing up.
Okay.
But so that again, it holds a special place in my heart. So yeah, initially when it comes out that they want to change the name, of course, as a fan, a real fan who's emotionally invested in that team I'm going to oppose. Not because I think people should be called Indians, not because I don't have sympathy for the folks that are offended by that. That's not why. It's coming from a baseball fan perspective. Okay.
Yeah.
With that said, I called it on this show and I called it on social media over a year ago that they would be called the Guardians, or they should be called the Guardians, because of the historical ties to the city that name has. And thankfully they did. Thankfully they didn't go with spiders, which means nothing to anyone. Thankfully they didn't go with pilots or whatever the other names they were throwing out there were.
I remember talking about this, but I don't remember. Did you call Guardians before they even gave a list of names that they were looking at, or you just picked Guardians out of the list that they gave us?
I gave Guardians before they gave us a list of names. So there were a few names floating around on the internet. There was spiders, there was pilots, I remember, and there was one more. Guardians had not, from what I had seen, and I'm not trying to be like but I swear I did say that because of the Cleveland Guardians and the bridge in Cleveland. I said, well, that makes so many people in Cleveland will attach to that name because of that. In the city of Cleveland, the people that live there, and I sound like I'm, I don't live there. I didn't grow up there, but those people, they are extremely proud of their city. They're extremely proud of the city's history. So I said, that's a logical choice. Yes, some people aren't going to like it because it doesn't have the best ring to it, but I think they made the right choice. So again, I'm not upset. I like the name change.
I mean,
not because I called it, not because it makes the most sense. I think let me take that back. It is because it makes the most sense. But I'm not upset. I was. I remember when we first started talking about this. Look, I think I even told a story about how I had an Indians hat on, and someone even made a comment, and I was like, well, and of course they were white, but I just said, well, do you come from a long line of, a long heritage of cartoon characters? Like, what about this offends you?
Right.
It's a cartoon character. It's paying homage to something. I don't understand. And look, I've had many people argue the opposite side of that to me. And I get it. I'm not out to offend anyone necessarily with my baseball team. I have plenty of other things that I can do to be offensive, like the show, my music. I don't, when I wear a baseball jersey and I go cheer for my favorite baseball team, I'm not out to be confrontational or offend anyone.
Right.
What I do have a problem with is this. I have a problem with, generally speaking, the large majority of people who were petitioning for these names to be changed in the first place. Because let's be honest, they were just woke white people.
Yeah, absolutely.
And those people can take a lap. I don't care about them. I don't.
I mean, it's a gray area though, because it's woke people, but they are technically fighting for something that isn't a bad thing to be fighting for.
Okay.
But they're doing it to be woke. I get what you're saying. So yeah. Good premise behind it, just not really good ethics behind why you're doing it.
Well, let me throw a situation out here to you then. I'm glad you said that they're fighting for something. They are. Cool. You're an indigenous American, Colt. Okay. Let's pretend.
Okay.
For real. You come from that culture. You're ingrained into that culture. Everything about you speaks indigenous American. Okay.
Okay.
You hear that the Cleveland Indians have now changed their name to the Cleveland Guardians. Do you throw a party?
No.
Let me give you the two situations. Do you throw a party, or are you slightly offended? Like, great, you've changed the name. It's such a minuscule action in the grand scheme of the fight.
Yeah.
Right?
Uh-huh.
If I was indigenous American, I'd go, okay. What else? What else?
Yeah.
What else you got? Okay. I was never offended by that name anyway. I don't care. I don't live in Cleveland. I don't even watch baseball. Now what do we do? Now what are you going to do for me? Right?
Yeah, I get
it. Look, I get it, man. White people are trying to make up for their sins, their past sins. I get it. But again, changing the names of teams and pulling down statues, I feel like it's just such a minuscule part of what the real problem is. But
it is. But when you think about like adding up all these minuscule things, it does.
Okay. Sure.
Towards progression.
We can do simple arithmetic when it comes to this stuff. But at the end of the day, look, again, I'm not fighting it. I'm done fighting it. I was done fighting it, I think, the last time we talked about it. And I'll give you another reason why I just want to be done fighting it, because I don't want to have the same opinion as morons. So let me read you something real quick. This is from Wendy Rogers. She is a state senator out of Arizona. Okay.
Yep.
Listen to this tweet from this idiot.
Okay.
I like Indians and I like Redskins. I like Aunt Jemima and I like Uncle Ben. I like Robert E. Lee and Stonewall Jackson. I don't like traitors who hate America. Stand up for our culture. The last two people that she named there were literally traitors to America. What is she talking about? So she's praising two actual traitors to the nation.
But she's also trying to differentiate the people from the thing, right? Like I like Aunt Jemima, but we took Aunt Jemima off the shelves. Like, you know what I'm
Okay.
saying? Like, so she's trying to she's saying I like the
Was Aunt Jemima a traitorous cunt?
I don't
No,
know.
she just
I
made
don't
awesome
know.
syrup. What? Robert E. Lee and Stonewall Jackson
I
were.
don't think she made the syrup.
I understand, dude, but she's taking characters that were created for food products for consumers like you and I to real traitorous people who were
Yeah,
shit
that's odd.
people
Yeah.
and traitors to our nation. She's an idiot. So I don't want to have the same opinion as someone like that. So Guardians, here we come. 2022, baby. Fuck, man.
You're definitely going to win the World Series next year. You have to now.
I don't like how you said that. They're having a bad year, dude. Their last month and a half of baseball has just been hard. It's hard. It's been hard for me to take. Anyway,
we can't say much in the St. Louis category for that either.
I don't even. It's yeah. They're both equally. The Indian. No, I don't even want to do it. So anyway, it's time to move on. It's time to move on, and I get that, and I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
I will be as soon as it hits the shelves. I will be purchasing myself and my son Guardians gear. Good to go. Not going to stop wearing my Indians gear. Not, but if someone wants to stop me on the street and have an honest, non-confrontational conversation about it where someone doesn't get upset or emotional, I'm willing to do so.
What if your son grows up to like a different team more than?
Not going to happen. Won't let it happen. My wife said the same thing. I go, whoa. He doesn't have a choice. He doesn't have a choice. His first game was an Indians game. He was wearing Indians gear. I will show him that as soon as
he may have just been looking around being like, I hate all of these people.
No. Well, he probably was, but as soon as his brain develops, I'm going to show him those pictures and give him, I'm going to build that base. No, he doesn't have a choice.
Okay. Man, you're a great
crazy.
Father. You're a great
Yeah,
father.
it's like her brother, her nephew, not her brother. Her nephew is a Pittsburgh Pirates fan. Huh?
Okay.
Huh? Like if I were a brother, I'm like, how did you let him do that? Well, what happened?
Yeah.
Because I think they're Cardinal fans, or maybe they're Cubs fans. Either way.
I'm like that. I mean, I have reasoning for like as far as football goes, I have reasoning for, being a Denver fan, but like one of my nephew is a San Francisco 49er fan. My other nephew is a Minnesota Vikings fan. They can't tell you why. It's just,
I get it.
It's probably colors or something. Like that's just the reasoning why. So I
mean, a lot of people develop their love for their favorite teams just out of, I was a little kid and I had a favorite player on the team, or like you said, I like the colors, or I played with that team on a video game, and then I started all that shit. I just adopted Cleveland sports because I was taught about the Cleveland Indians at a very young age, and I just said, all right, well, I'm an Ohio sports fan now.
Okay, I feel like you're going to push back on me on this.
I'm sure.
But I'm curious. Do you ever play Madden?
No, I don't play video games, bro.
Never? Okay.
No. I've tried, dude. I've tried. Even when Madden even first came out, I tried to play it. And I was just like, I think I'm just beyond video games at this point.
I get it.
I don't,
Well, the reason why I asked is I was going to ask the question of, do you feel like you're cheating on your team if you play with a different team?
I would never do that. I would play with the Browns. Yeah. No, don't even. Yeah. What the fuck? What do I look like? Yeah, no.
Okay.
Yeah. I have a buddy who diehard Madden. I think he played competitively for a while.
Nice.
Diehard Rams fan, right? Diehard. But would play with the 49ers on Madden. I'm like, who are you? What are you doing? How could you as a Rams fan, how could you dare play with the Broncos, for instance, the 49ers, their biggest rival?
Right.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway,
is this a Rams fan, like a St. Louis Rams fan or an LA Rams fan, or he stayed loyal?
He stayed loyal to the team but he didn't grow up as he didn't know He's my age, so he didn't know the LA Rams necessarily.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, so he grew up with like when the Rams came back, or when the Rams came here, I should say. They didn't come back here. The St. Louis football team came back here, but
right.
Yeah, I don't know. So let's how so what you so we I gotta ask this because I texted you this. So as you know, the mask mandates have been started coming back in major cities, and sure enough, starting on Monday, we're back to square one here in St. Louis. Now, what is it going to be like for you? So in St. Louis, vaccinated or not, you're out in public, you got to put on a mask.
Mm-hmm.
What is it going to be like where you are?
I have not heard anything about the mask mandate coming back.
Okay.
I mean, it was kind of lax even when we did have it. And I don't know. I don't know how people would react
I'm sure they would react poorly.
Yeah.
Because the narrative has been for far too long, we shouldn't have to wear masks. There's no science behind it.
Yeah.
It's a violation of my rights.
Yeah. So I haven't heard anything about it happening yet. They're in my county. Apparently, the numbers are on the rise.
Of course.
And I know that St. Louis has become a hot spot again, and that's why this whole mask mandate thing is happening because of the variant. So I don't know. Have you heard anything? So as far as the vaccine goes, you got the Pfizer vaccine, right?
Yeah.
Aren't they saying that you should get a third shot? Is that any certain one of the vaccines, like Moderna, Pfizer, whatever, or is that? Do you know anything about that?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
Because I thought I heard that because of this variant, the Delta variant, that you should get a third shot. But I don't know if the third shot is something completely different or what.
I'm sure we're going to have to get a third. Yeah, I would imagine at some point it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Look, man, it's like I told you, dude. We're at war with our own guts. What is my gut telling me? And it's been that way since the start of this shit, man. We're literally at a war with our own guts, and some people are listening to people who are informed, and then a lot of people are listening to people who are incredibly, tragically misinformed and disconnected from the situation altogether. They've politicized it. They've added an agenda of their own, or they've latched onto someone else's agenda, and that's the two sides of people.
But it took you a long time to get to where you actually decided to get the vaccine, correct?
I was always going to get it. I was never not going to get it.
Okay.
I just wanted to give it a little bit of time just to see. I wanted people I know to start getting vaccinated. I wanted to see what happened. Not because I thought it was going to fucking give me a third ear or kill me.
Yeah.
I just wanted to see. And for the greater good of my household and the 1-year-old that I have, I got it.
Yeah.
But also, I'm in that group of people who like to listen to people who are more informed on a topic and more informed on science and medicine than myself. I consider myself to be one of those people.
Yeah.
I told you, I've been motivated by two people this entire time, other than, doctors and people who are going on the news and people who are putting out statements in the CDC and the World Health Organization. All that aside, we should all at some point maybe just take a gander at what they're saying. Just take a little bit of a listen. I've been listening to my wife and I've been listening to my older sister, both of which are in the medical field, in the medical community. They're on the inside. They're on the inside. Both know about what a respiratory virus can do to you and what it means to you if you reach a certain point. Both have seen it impact people. Okay.
Yep.
Both know the science behind wearing masks. Both know the science behind vaccines. My older sister has been working on the vaccine since last February, probably. Okay. I'm going to listen to them. I just am. Yeah. I trust those people. So far, they haven't steered me wrong. Right.
Let me ask you this: if you know, or the scenario, if your wife would have been pregnant during the height of everything,
she was.
Well, not were the vaccines even out when she was pregnant?
No,
yet?
no.
Okay, so my point being is if the vaccine was here and readily available for everyone while she was pregnant, would she have gotten it while she was pregnant, do you think?
Mm,
Now that was early on, I understand that, and especially like you said, you want to have more science to back up everything before you actually got it, make sure that people are fine after they
not
take
even
it.
dude. Not even science. I shouldn't even say that because I sound like a fucking. I sound like one of these anti-vax people that are all over the internet that are just poisoning people's minds with their bullshit. Not science. Forget I said that. I just
Well,
wanted to see the
but
people around me again, my loved
yeah,
ones,
yeah,
my friends. I wanted to hear what they had to say. That's it. Those are the people in my life that I trust. I'm sorry, but I trust my friends and family more
yeah,
than I trust some fucking idiot on Facebook
yeah,
who went to whichever website makes me sound right.com to
yeah,
get their information and then spread it like a virus on Facebook. Like,
right,
I don't trust those people. And if you do, you really need to rethink your life,
yeah.
you know? Uh, so yeah, I didn't mean to say science because I look like I sound like I didn't want to sound like that. So that's why I had to correct that. But yeah, I just wanted to wait just a
Yeah.
little bit,
Yeah.
just a little bit.
But anyways,
But
as I said, so say it happened right now. If you had to guess, if your wife was pregnant right now, do you think that she would get the vaccine now, or would she wait until after she gave birth?
if she was still working, she would have to. So I don't
Even
necessarily,
even even if she was pregnant, she would have to?
pretty sure.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
See, I feel like that gets into some pretty deep waters. I understand
Maybe she told me that if yeah, maybe not. I don't know. I'd have to ask her.
that's kind of like a my body, my choice thing, right?
Oh, don't, dude. Yeah. 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 Yeah, man. I don't know. She's fired up about that. I look, I'd have to ask her. I'll let you know. I gotta ask her again. I know we've had that conversation, but so much has gone on
Yeah.
with this. It's my brain just it can't retain everything. It just can't. It's just too much.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
while on this topic, so we both seen like NFL is starting to get hit with a few things, like the O-line coach for the Vikings has already been fired because he refused to get the vaccine. Bruce Arians for the Buccaneers is saying that he's going to fine each of his players 14 grand basically each time that they're asked to get the vaccine and they do not.
how's the NFL letting him get away with that?
I don't know.
I need to look into that story more because anyway. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I don't know, but what other ways do you enforce it? You know what I mean? Besides just not letting them play or not letting them practice until they get vaccinated.
I don't know. I mean, look, as an employer, as you know, the Arizona Cardinals are, or the Bucks. I'm sorry, I keep forgetting his coat. Uh, the Bucks are those players' employer. So technically speaking, yes, they can say you can't come to work until you're vaccinated, and if you don't like it, then you don't have a job. I guess, but it is their choice to get vaccinated.
I don't know that you can.
I
I
don't
mean,
know legally if
I
you
don't,
can. That's why I'm saying, how's the NFL
I don't think that the
letting?
business that I work for could do that.
I mean, no, I go back in October.
Oh, you actually are going back?
It'll be 3 days a week and then 2 days at home, or I can go back every day. It's up to me. But yeah, that's
So,
the
or is there somewhere in your mind hoping that this mask mandate leads to something a little bigger to where you get to keep staying at home?
kind of,
You're a terrible person.
kind of, yeah. No, I don't want. No, 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 no. Well, look, I don't want anyone to get sick. I don't want this to spread like wildfire.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I do want the company that I work for to take a long, hard look at this. And if
Yeah.
this gets worse, then maybe we shouldn't go back. I don't want it to get worse. Sorry, I was joking. You have to know it's called context, people. It's nuance. I was joking. But they might need to take a long, hard look at this. So I had to do, I had to attest as to whether I have the vaccine or not. So you have two options. Yes, I have it. No, I don't have it. Or I'd rather not say. Why give those three choices? It's either yes or no. They have to give you that third option because legally speaking, I don't think they can say you can't come back to work if you don't have it. So from what I'm being told is they're going to have like vaccine-free zones and vaccinated zones, which is just
That
goofy.
is ridiculous.
So basically, I, as a person who's vaccinated, can't say to my employer, hey, I'll only go back as long as I'm sitting next to people who are vaccinated. I don't have that choice. They'll tell me to go kick rocks. So I guess that's why you had the third option. And now they're going to create those zones, which is so goofy. It's so stupid.
So me and you had a pretty big text thread the other day about this scenario.
Yeah.
And it's weird because just because you get the vaccine doesn't mean you can't get COVID.
I understand that, but
just because I get the vaccine doesn't mean I can't get it, which means I can still give it to other people, whether they have the vaccine or not. Now,
yes.
Does it make it? It's supposed to make it to where you don't get as sick or it's not as bad for you. And I understand that. Yes. And I understand that if everyone gets vaccinated, the numbers will go down. That does make sense to me. But still, from what
just like the numbers went down when we started wearing masks.
Right. But from what you're saying, how does it make sense to say that I will only go into work if I'm sitting next to other people who are vaccinated when I can still get it and I can still give it to them, or they can still give it to me?
The percentage of me getting it and me giving it to someone is far lower if I'm vaccinated. I'm not saying that I said that, but some, people will.
Okay.
But I understand what you're saying. Yeah, you can still get COVID if you're vaccinated. Yes, you can still. But if we're talking about who's more likely to get it, me, the vaccinated person, or Joe next to me who's unvaccinated?
Okay.
The numbers don't lie. The overwhelming majority of people who are going to hospitals right now with COVID are unvaccinated.
I get you.
I don't know why anyone needs anything else. That feels like the burden of proof that we need.
Yeah.
Now I get it. It's your choice. You don't have to get vaccinated. Right. I get it.
It's cool. I'm sitting here like normal opposing you on purpose. This isn't like how I feel. I'm just curious because it is a legit question.
I understand
what your opinions are on it.
Yeah. I had someone. I had someone say to me the other day that, basically the same conversation you and I are having. And this is an unvaccinated person. Okay. And I just said, look, the people that are getting sick right now are unvaccinated. The people that are flooding hospitals right now are unvaccinated. So they're making that choice. They're taking that risk. And the person goes, well, yeah, I'm not going to get vaccinated because, I could. What did they say? So, I make the choice of getting in my car every day and I could get in a car accident and die. I said, yeah, one's not related to the other, though. One's not the same.
But yeah, that's not the best
comparison. You could also jump off a bridge and survive. So because there's a slight chance of your survival, would you jump off of a bridge? Probably not.
Yeah.
Probably not. Doesn't make so much sense, does it? But that's also a stupid comparison to make.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, the percentages don't lie. The percentages of people who are vaccinated not getting sick compared to the percentages of people who are unvaccinated getting sick are far less.
Yeah.
And we know this. It's all agenda based. It's all political based. It's the whole I'm not going to get vaccinated thing. If it's a genuine concern about what it will do to you, okay, I'll hear you out. But if it's my right, it's a violation of my rights, this and that, and I go, well,
I mean, in reality, the forcing of you getting it is technically yes.
Who's being forced to get it? The NFL players.
Well, yeah, they are. That's interesting.
It's very interesting. I don't have a strong enough opinion to sort of speak to someone and say you should be vaccinated because A through Z, right?
Mm-hmm.
My opinion is really based on numbers. And I feel like if you argue the numbers, then it's just, I don't even know if we can even have a conversation because you're ignoring facts and statistical data, right?
Yeah.
or am I wrong? To me, someone who aggressively is anti-vax is just ignoring what's really true, or are they not?
Well,
I guess.
well, here's the thing. I think it's a little different. If somebody who was on the fence about getting the vaccine were to go into a hospital when it was full of ICU patients for COVID, they may think about this a little differently than just watching the news and seeing the numbers on the news. Because it's very easy to bypass numbers on the news and think that all those numbers are inflated for media purposes. Whether they are or not, I'm not saying they are. I'm just saying that it would be a lot easier to bypass just watching the news every day thinking these numbers are inflated versus actually going and seeing all these patients that are actually dying from this.
Well, what that person should do then is put on a mask, go to their local hospital, and do a survey of the people who were there because of COVID and ask them straight up, are you vaccinated? No. 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 I could keep going. You realize that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, that's fine. Dude, look, like I said, we're all battling our own wills, our own guts.
But I would also like to see the other side of that though. Are there nurses that are dealing with a lot of people who are still getting patients that have been vaccinated?
I've heard anecdotal stories, yes, but I think those are so few and far between. And I think if people use those as an argument,
maybe I would like to see the numbers, though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, sure. Me too.
I'm not saying that
I would like to.
I'm not saying that you're not going to have more people that are unvaccinated that are sick than people that are vaccinated that are sick. I mean, statistically, that doesn't seem like it would be accurate in general if the vaccine does work. But I'm just saying I would like to see the numbers also on vaccinated people who are getting sick also. So I don't know. It's an interesting thought experiment, and most people are just going to sit at home and stick to their guns and not put on a mask and go to the local hospital. So that's where it stands still.
Yeah. Look, I think back to the original thing. I don't have a problem necessarily with the mask mandate. I had a feeling it was going to happen as soon as I started reading about the Delta variant, as soon as I started reading whether they're true or not, whether the numbers are inflated, the number of people going to the hospital now, being hospitalized, the number of cases. I had a suspicion that it would happen.
Didn't it start in LA?
I know they were one of the first. Yeah. They're very aggressive.
Really fast, right? Is that from traveling?
I don't. Yeah, sure. Yeah, I don't know. Probably. I'm sure it has a lot to do with it.
But they haven't slowed down travel or anything again, right?
I don't know. I have to get on a plane in a month, so we'll see if I can.
Is this work related? So like when you go back in, you're actually flying again too?
No, this is I'm going to Denver.
Cool.
For fun without my family.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm gonna go shack up in a mansion in the mountains with a bunch of dudes.
Okay. Just like
it's a bachelor.
I was gonna say, is this a bachelor party or is this just to go and hang out with a bunch of dudes?
No, it's bachelor.
Are you into? Are you like a furry now or something?
It's a bachelor party. Yeah, so that'll be interesting. Like I said, man, because we're at a battle with our own guts. We have to then decide where we're getting our information from.
Mm-hmm.
People on the internet that's saying there's no science to back up wearing masks. Those people. Wow, they bother me. And there's one that you and I both love. Let's talk about him. Good old Brendan Schaub is a anti-masker.
Yeah.
Because, as you know, he lives in California and right, in Los Angeles specifically, and they put up the mask mandate. And he has a problem with that because there's no science to back it up. Science.
Do we know? So you listen to these podcasts a little more than I do.
No, I don't.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe
I just look at clips while I take a shit.
Maybe you have more information though. So being anti-mask, I assume that Shab is not vaccinated either, right?
No, I think he is.
Oh, he is?
Yeah.
Okay. Don't those contradict each other?
A little bit.
What about Brian Callen? Do we know about Brian Callen? And do we know about Joe Rogan?
I don't think Joe Rogan's vaccinated.
Really?
I don't think so.
It kind of surprises me for touring comedians.
Joe Rogan's not touring. I guess he is, yeah.
He's not. I was gonna say he's
doing shit with Chappelle, but he's going to these like pockets of places that have been sort of, pockets of places that are like have been anti-COVID in the first, like New Mexico and like, I don't know. I just saw it. I saw it on Instagram. I just Googled, is Joe Rogan vaccinated? Podcast host Joe Rogan clarifies vaccination comments. I'm not anti-vax. I'm not an anti-vax person, Rogan said. I believe they're safe and encourage many people to take them. But Rogan did not walk back his suggestion that the young and healthy do not need vaccines, which drew backlash from White House officials. Experts say everyone over 16 should get vaccinated to stop the virus spread. Yeah, I remember him saying that. Even if you do not have any symptoms, you're propagating the outbreak, Dr. Fauci said. In that episode, Rogan told listeners that he would not suggest the vaccine to a healthy 21-year-old. If you're a healthy person and you're exercising all the time and eating your broccoli, I added that, and you're young and you're eating well, like, I don't think you need to worry about this. Responding to the criticism on his podcast on Thursday, Rogan said the argument that young people need the vaccine for other people made sense. But that's a different argument, he added. So I would imagine he's not vaccinated. Or he's a total hypocrite, and he doesn't think he's as healthy as he tells everyone he is.
Right.
Because he pushes the whole exercise, eating right agenda, and he should. He's in good shape. He's in his fucking 50s.
Yeah.
And he still works out like a beast. He's still smoking cigars on his podcast, blowing smoke into the camera like an asshole. But other than that, so yeah, I don't know. I don't know if he's vaccinated.
Okay, I was curious.
Donald Trump is vaccinated.
Yeah.
Which is hilarious. I think if he were still president, I think there'd be a larger number of people vaccinated.
Really?
If he's still president and conservatives know that he's vaccinated, they're likely going to get vaccinated too. But because Biden's in office, conservatives are like, nope, I'm still going to fight this.
I gotcha.
I mean,
you're telling me there's politics involved? That doesn't make any sense at all.
Not in this country.
No. So this is an odd scenario.
So we've moved on from vaccines, I hope.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it. Because I think two morons trying to discuss science and tell people what they should be doing with their anyway.
Anyways, so this is going to be an odd scenario because we're going to be podcasting about another podcast who's podcasting about another podcast.
I love it. Let's join the party, dude.
Yeah.
This is all the internet is now anyway, so we might as well join the party.
Right. Okay. So
put on your hat.
What?
Put on your party hat. That's what I meant.
Oh, okay. Okay. So what we're looking at here is the fighter and the kid, Brendan Schaub, Brian Callen, who is watching a clip of Mark Maron on Tom Segura's podcast. So this is on Tom Segura's solo podcast, right? This isn't on.
No, that's Two Bears, One Cave.
Oh, it is? It's on Two Bears, One Cave.
Yeah. He's having people sit in while Bert's doing whatever he's doing. Okay.
Are they doing Two Bears, One Cave through Zoom? Since they're not in the same city anymore?
I don't think they're doing it. I think that's what I'm saying. He's having just guest hosts come in and do it.
I see. Okay. All right. Well, I'm just going to start this at the beginning, and then we'll just kind of cut in when we want to. All right. Ready? And go.
So, Brendan, you sent this to me yesterday, and I watched this clip. It's Mark Maron on.
Is it a clip? Because this is because I didn't look into it. I didn't see it. I saw this. I'm like, this would be good for the show.
Yeah.
But when I saw it, I'm like, I need to know the context.
There was a
stop,
clip.
real
This
quick.
was Mark Maron on.
Okay.
So did you hear what he just said? He goes, "Is this a clip?" Because I didn't look into it at all.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
Okay.
you could tell he was lying in the first place. He's watched this whole thing.
You've watched it, you know.
Yeah.
And clearly he contradicts himself because we'll see. So okay, so right off the bat he goes, I didn't watch this, but let's look at it anyway. Sure, okay. Silly.
Okay.
On Tom Segura's show.
Do we have the clip?
There's a clip on YouTube somewhere. It's not on this particular
We go to it,
article.
Chin, because before we talk about Marin, who I actually like, and I think he's a great comic. Before we talked about Marin, he's been on this show and he's one of my favorite podcasters. Him and Rogan started the same year. But I need to see the clip.
I saw
there
what
it
he
is.
said. It wasn't.
I think that, you're your own guy. You're your own life. You weren't one of the guys that, rented out space in Joe's ass. And
Yeah.
it's like a human centipede in Austin. It's like Elon Musk, Joe Rogan, and 3 middle acts. So
He's being funny.
but you're going to do your own thing.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, we have our own, our own.
See, people are going to see that and go like, look at Marin, he's bitter. It's like, why wouldn't I be? Why?
Oh, he's admitted
$100
it.
million for going, I don't know.
This is where I have a problem.
Really?
This is where I have a problem.
It's a lot.
Hey, Rogan's pushing back. I don't know, man.
Let me ask you something. Do you ever see like comedians that are in that circle with Rogan you can visibly see them get a little nervous when people start talking bad about Joe Rogan, even if it's in a joking way, because they know they can't mouth Joe Rogan or they can't agree with anything bad that comes out of anybody else's mouth about Joe Rogan, because Joe Rogan is the king and the center of all of that.
Oh yeah.
And a big portion of their careers was because of Joe Rogan.
One could argue that, yes. But yeah, they do get very timid about like, should I laugh?
Yeah. I just see that in Tom Segura right now because I don't know, like he's already like almost tensed up a little bit, or like
yeah, but he laughed.
laughing through it, but almost in a kind of a nervous way, like where's this gonna go?
Yeah. Well, so let's just, before we play anymore, obviously he's joking, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
That Mark Maron, it's safe to say we can call him a legendary comedian at this point.
Absolutely.
Is on a podcast being funny.
Yeah.
Why would you take issue, especially if you are a comedian like Brendan Schaub is supposed to be? Why would you take issue with anything he's saying, period?
Because it's strictly about Rogan.
Okay, I'm glad you said that. Let's listen to more then.
Okay.
And so
That's fair. He's being funny.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to sit here and
It's
accept
definitely bitter.
Austin as the next Shangri-La.
Yeah.
Because people always forget to finish the sentence, Hey, man, I'm moving to Austin. Texas? Yes.
Yeah. It's still Texas.
Oh, no, it's really Texas.
It's really Texas.
It's like the hipster Alamo. It's this
It
little
is.
enclave.
It does feel like you're totally in a different universe. Like obviously it's the most time I've ever spent there. Usually you come in, you do a weekend of shows, or
Right.
something, but it is not like any other Texas experience,
No, I've
is, though.
always liked it.
I mean, I think what he said was funny, and he's being silly. Joe's fine. Joe will be fine on it.
My only problem is when he goes, them giving $100 million to Rogan for his pushback's going, oh, really, man? Like, that's the only where I don't agree with Marin.
Okay. Does Brendan Schaub have cotton balls in his mouth?
No, that's tobacco.
He earns his living speaking. Can you believe that?
I don't know why you'd want to do that.
Are you insulted by that?
It's weird. I would not put chew in my mouth.
He already has a speech impediment.
Yeah.
And then he puts things in his mouth to make it worse.
Yeah.
And no one around him, like, is everyone just afraid to go, hey, bro, you sound dumb? No one will say that to him? No one calls him on that. They're like, hey, by the way, sponsors are giving you a lot of money.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard him do an ad read?
Well, yeah, you sent me a couple actually.
Dude. Anyway.
Anyways,
I mean,
here's my thing with this. So here in a minute or two, you're going to start hearing the pushback between Brian Callen and Brendan Schaub. Me and you've talked about this a little bit off the air. And you said that this is basically what this show is now. It's pushback. Brian Callen and Joe Rogan have been best friends for God knows how long, way longer than Schaub was even in the picture.
yeah.
I'm pretty sure that Callen knows that none of this would even close to upset Joe Rogan. And he's saying that Mark Maron's trying to be funny, and he is trying to be funny. Brendan Schaub is choosing to take offense to it because it's, I guess, in bad taste towards Joe Rogan, right?
I'm glad you said that. So Brian Callen, again, not necessarily my cup of tea when it comes to comedy. He's been doing it a long time.
Yeah.
That, on top of the fact that he has known Joe for a long time, probably knows that Joe wouldn't care about this.
Right.
So to start, he understands nuance and context and understands when someone's being funny. But to your point about he knows Joe's not going to care. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, who cares if Joe Rogan's offended by that? Do you think Mark Maron gives a fuck?
Right.
He doesn't care. Mark Maron doesn't care if Joe Rogan's offended by what he said. So that's my whole thing about this is like, because Brian Callen understands nuance and context because he's been doing comedy for so long, maybe he should have stopped that conversation and said, hey, Brendan, you don't understand, man. This is what you're going to need to do to be a better stand-up comedian. You need to start understanding when someone's joking. Right. And he doesn't. I think a large part of that is his mashed potato brain. But I think at the end of the day, also, I think he's a sensitive person who doesn't respond well to criticism and doesn't respond well to just any, like he said, like, oh, he's throwing shade. How can someone, the first part of their statement says, yeah, that person got $100 million. How can you even throw shade at someone who has $100 million in the bank? Mark Maron doesn't have $100 million in the bank.
Right.
So you're throwing shade? No. Yeah. He basically said, he set it up to be like, yeah, of course I'm bitter.
Right.
I am bitter because the guy got $100 million to do nothing, essentially, is what he said.
To do well, but what he's
joking.
he's saying, well, but he's saying it in a way that, because he does the same thing. I mean, Mark Maron's been a podcaster forever. So it's like, he's like, I don't do anything. I just talk. That's what Joe Rogan is doing. And he's getting $100 million to do it. So he's basically mouthing himself by joking and bad mouthing Joe Rogan. It's funny.
Yeah.
But also you said, that Brian Callen needs to kind of push back on Brendan. I don't think that's the dynamic here anymore. I don't think he has the option to do that anymore.
It's never been the dynamic. I don't think they're really friends. And you're going to see in this.
Okay. But what I'm saying is that Brian Callen's back now after everything that happened to him. And when he was gone, this became Brendan's show. Brendan had probably moved, or, he's the one that makes all the moving parts happen now. And Brian is just kind of back on the show. And he probably doesn't want to push back that much because of, he's afraid that this is going to go away for him.
Yeah. No, you're right.
At least until Callen's career comes back full force again. I don't know if he's doing stand-up comedy anymore.
He is. I think he's fine.
But still. Yeah.
So I'm glad you said that. So you think it's Brendan's show. So in this part you're about to play, let's count how many times he interrupts Brian Callen and won't let him speak at all.
Okay, here we go.
Here we go. I'll count.
All right.
Well,
like that's not why Rogan got $100 million. Like you can't say Rogan's not a good.
Yeah, but he's
podcaster.
joking. I mean, obviously we know that.
Again, that's shade for sure.
Okay,
that's shade for
it's
sure.
a little shade, but it's fine.
But also, it's the
I
same.
thought it was funny.
But it's the same. The parts were really funny.
Yeah.
But there, and I do like Maron. But there is, Rogan's the cool kid in town. And everybody knows he got $100 million. So it's like with Drake, like if you're an upcoming rapper, not that Mark Maron's up and coming, but if you're like a rapper that's big in the field, like if you're gonna take shots, you're gonna take shots at Drake because A, he's not gonna respond. He's killing. And B, like he's the head honcho.
Yeah.
So that's the guy you should.
Okay,
that's fine. That's all good. We're just fucking around. Everybody's friends.
Well, they're not friends.
Okay, 3.
Yeah, but they're fine with each other. I mean, Mark and Joe have known each other for 26 years, 27
They're not
years,
friends though.
4.
Okay, but they're not enemies. They're not.
They don't fuck with each other.
5.
I've known those guys together for a long time, and I've had conversations about them with each other, and there's not animosity. It just isn't. They're just different people. They're very different people with very different audiences. I would say that.
Yeah, I agree. There's one's jazz, one's fucking
100%.
hard rock.
Just different, but
like, and both are great at
both had
podcasting. Like
great value.
Well, dude, both are. I mean,
yeah.
They're two complete different.
I think what Mark said was actually funny, and he was being silly, and it's just a podcast, and he's saying shit
But I get with Baron. Like everyone's saying, Austin's like the end all be all. Like,
And I agree with
for LA
what he's
guys,
saying.
it's like, yeah, dude, shut the fuck
I
up.
agree with that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm with him.
Yeah.
I'm with him.
I mean, I was like,
But the only part where I don't ride with Mark was like, dude, 100 million for being like, I guess I don't know.
All right, we can stop there. I
yeah,
think.
that's
That was 8 times I counted where he just, whatever you're saying doesn't matter. Did he just compare Joe Rogan to Drake and Mark Maron to an up and coming rapper who this is Drake?
He did.
What an idiot.
Yeah.
He just really doesn't get things.
I feel like part of this too is just to purposely force confrontation with Callan too. So he's got to have an opposing thought against what Callan's saying, on top of the fact that he can't let anybody badmouth Joe Rogan either. So he's just trying his hardest to play opposition all around.
Yeah, I just think he doesn't understand. I think there's a little bit of it that he does want to oppose Callan, and that in order for them to have some sort of banter, there needs to be different opinions. But I just think he doesn't get it.
Now,
I don't think he knows.
Yeah, okay, so yes, but also if you dumb it down to if it was you and a good friend of yours, or if it's us two and we're talking to somebody else about somebody who one of us thinks is bad mouthing us. So like if I'm talking to somebody that I think is bad mouthing you, I'm probably going to be on the defensive too. You know what I'm saying?
What if they're trying to be funny?
Well,
what if they're like, oh, he spends too much time on his hair and his appearance?
You see, and I was going to say,
Did you laugh at that?
I've been in this scenario before, but
what'd you do? Were you a good friend?
No, I was like, yeah, I know.
Was
I hate
the
that
Joe
guy.
Rogan of that
He's
situation?
a terrible person. But you know what I'm saying? Like he's trying to be on the defensive. He's just in the defensive on like way too deep for no reason.
Yeah, well, obviously, I think, yeah. But look, man, people are going to hate on Joe Rogan. You need to live with that, bro. Like he's the center of the podcast and comedy universe right now. Yeah. A guy like Mark Maron's going to have plenty to say about it.
I mean, we're hating on Brendan Schaub, but in reality, let's look at his bank account compared to ours. And
is it just about money?
Well, also he puts out a lot of content in various different ways.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying that we can hate on him too, but there's got to be some respect there too for what he's doing.
That's where we're going with this. That's why we played that clip.
That's the part I'm playing.
For you to say you respect Brendan Schaub. Look, man, I mean, yeah, of course. He's doing his thing. Yeah. I'm a hater. He doesn't like haters, but he likes to be one.
Yeah,
if it impacts or if it reaches his inner circle of fuckery, he doesn't like it. Right. But he can do it. That show, they watch clips of people. That's the other thing too. Like, at what point do you just go, oh, I'm a hypocrite? It's almost like the only people who are allowed to speak on their community are people who are within the community. A person like you or I can't, because we're just who we are and we don't have as much money and we this and that. But like, no, anyone, that's what the internet is.
Well, it's kind of also if you reverse the people in that scenario. So if Callan and Schaub were watching a video of Tom Segura and Mark Maron, and Tom Segura was the one that was saying these things instead of Maron, Schaub would not have said anything. He would have agreed with everything Segura said.
Probably.
And joked around about it and laughed.
Probably.
So it's perspective of whose mouth it's coming out of too.
Can I tell you the one problem I had with what Mark Maron said?
What's that?
Is the fact that he gave Tom Segura a pass because he was like in the studio with him. He was on a show. He was like, yeah, you're your own guy. You didn't follow Joe here. Right.
Oh, I see.
Like, no, he kind of did. I mean, but look, I don't know. Look, him and Joe Rogan have fucking families, dude. Like they're going to move wherever they think is best for their family. At the end of the day, but Mark Maron speaking to like those single, comedians in their 30s who moved there because they thought Joe was going to start essentially the new Comedy Store and it was going to be the center of the universe for comedy. So they followed him there. Good for them.
Right.
They're working. Who cares? But I get why Mark Maron needs to make fun of that and needs to joke about that.
But the thing is that they're still touring.
Sure.
I mean, they're touring, like
just living in a different place now.
Segura has a massive tour coming up.
Yeah.
And just because he lives in Austin now instead of LA doesn't change his touring schedule and stuff like that. He's still doing his thing. So
Well, I just think there are a lot of guys who you know, who made their way through, or I guess made their way by living in Los Angeles and have sort of committed to the idea that, no, I'm not just going to move just because. I think they're a little annoyed by it. I would be if I lived there and I made my living as a comedian. And I hear about, oh, because Joe Rogan left, I have to move somewhere else. So I can't do comedy from here. I can't earn my living here. I would be annoyed by it. And then I would joke about it like Mark Maron did. That's why I'm a comedian. I'm not a comedian, but if I was, that's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to talk shit. You're supposed to try to be funny.
Right.
And it doesn't matter if you or I or Brendan or Brian don't think what he said was funny. Tom laughed.
Yeah.
Someone else probably laughed. So it doesn't matter. You know? And it's only going to get worse. People are going to keep poking fun at Joe Rogan. I hope he knows that, and I hope his friends know that. It's going to keep happening.
Yeah. And that's the thing is like, you're poking the bear on somebody who doesn't care. They're still the one that has $100 million in the bank.
Yeah.
You don't. So,
and again, who cares if he does care though?
Yeah.
So what?
Yeah.
Even if he did care, what's he going to do?
Nothing.
You know, wheel kick Mark Maron? Like, what's he going to do? Like, it's like, who cares? I don't know. I just think some of his friends should just go to him and, hey, bro, I don't think you get it. He was being funny. And I think you shouldn't say which part of it wasn't funny.
Yeah. At
the end of the day. Or just say, nah, it's not funny. But not care that he's throwing shade.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's
an odd thing for someone who earns their living as a comedian to publicly speak out against on their own podcast. It's odd to me.
Yeah. Do you want to listen to any more of this or no?
No, fuck him.
Okay.
I think Brian Callen had the right reaction to it. Like, he's just being funny. He's being silly. Get over it. Get over it.
Yeah.
But I don't think Brendan's brain will allow him to understand the context of that situation. You know?
I think he can.
I could be wrong.
I think he can. I don't think it's that simple. I think it's just a matter of he's forcefully not doing it because he's so loyal to Joe Rogan, and he doesn't want anybody bad mouthing Joe Rogan, and he wants to be at the forefront of basically throwing shade at somebody who's throwing shade at Rogan.
See, I think what you're saying is worse than what I'm saying.
Maybe so.
You're calling him a dick rider without calling him a dick rider. I'm saying he's stupid. Which one is worse?
I'm trying.
I think it's a combination of both. That's what I think, dude. I don't know. Well, look, man, I want to say this before we get out of here. You watched the fights last night because we were texting about it.
Uh-huh.
Can I tell you what I think happened?
I think I know what you're going to say, but go ahead.
No. So for those that don't know, TJ Dillashaw made his comeback
after
to the octagon last night against a very tough opponent, Corey Sandhagen. But he won by split decision. Can I tell you what I think that was? I think that was the MMA gods giving TJ Dillashaw a gift from that decision loss he had against Dominic Cruz when he lost the belt.
Do you mean when you say MMA gods, do you mean judges?
Well, yeah, but I think the MMA gods influenced the judges and returned the favor to TJ. That's what I think. I think he was given a gift, like Dominic Cruz was given a gift when he took the title from TJ. I don't think he beat TJ. Some say he did. I disagree. I don't think TJ won that fight. So I think he was given a gift. Looked great.
Yeah.
Not for nothing. He looked great. And for this to be off 2 years and come back and fight a guy like Corey Sandhagen and perform the way he did.
I think
he's incredible.
And he's thick, dude. He is definitely stronger than he was.
Yeah.
And I mean, he still went 5 rounds and, was pretty, hung in there for, being a little beefier too. So I give him props, but as you said, I don't think he won. Yeah. But when there was 30 seconds left in the fight, I told you they're going to give this to TJ because of the way the rest of the night had gone.
Yeah.
Because of those takedowns, that was going to, and the pushing him up against the cage. That was that was what won him that fight.
Yeah. And
Well-
like I said, I think
But I mean, Sandhagen's number 2, right?
mhm,
Or was before last night.
I think he should still be.
Yeah. So they asked DC asked Dillashaw in the post fight interview, who he wanted next.
Of course he did.
Said he wanted a title shot, and if he can't get that, he wants somebody in the top 5. What do you think? Should they give him a title shot, or should they give him a top 5 guy first?
Title shot.
Another top 5 guy.
Title shot. Because if Corey Sandhagen would have won that fight, he would have been given a title shot. So you have to give the title shot to TJ.
Yeah, but there's another gray area there too, right? Though, because if Dillashaw was in the top 5 before he got suspended and not a title holder, would we be saying the same thing?
Say that again.
If Dillashaw wasn't holding the title when he got suspended,
Yeah.
if he was just a top 5 guy and he came back last night, fought Sandhagen and won, would he still be getting a title shot now?
No.
Or is it because he was a title holder before?
It's because he's TJ Dillashaw, 2-time title holder. He's going to go to the Hall of Fame. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
why. Yeah.
Okay.
It's all name recognition. So, I mean, look, and Cody Garbrandt tweeted this. He said, I want a top 5 guy. Cody was like, okay, let's do it. Because Cody Garbrandt's number 5.
Yeah.
I don't want to see him fight.
Hang on, wait. We had Garbrandt and Dillashaw fought twice, right?
Yes. They'll never book that. They're not, that wouldn't happen. I don't want to see him fight Aldo. Aldo's got a fight coming up. He's fighting. Who is he fighting? Pedro Munoz. And then Rob Font's ranked 3rd. That would be a cool fight. But
Yeah.
if I'm Rob Font, I'm going, dude, I've won however many in a row. I'm not fighting TJ. I'm waiting out to see if I get a title shot.
Yeah.
At the very least. But he probably
And
won't have that luxury. So
The title fight right now is set. The rematch is set for October, right?
yeah, it's going to be on that card with shit. They said it last night, didn't they? It's in Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, I knew that.
266 is Volkanovski Ortega. It's not going to be on that card.
No, it's October.
Yeah, I'm trying to get there, but the UFC's website is dog
Dude, it's
shit.
terrible, isn't it?
It's the worst website. Try Wikipedia. Nope, that's terrible. Wait, let's see. God, they said it. I wish I could remember, dude. I'm sorry. I just can't remember. UFC 267 Abu Dhabi. Here it is. Okay. So this is supposed to be. Oh, it's Jan and Glover.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So Jan and Glover, and then Aljamain and Piotr Jan.
Gotcha.
So yeah, that's October 30th. Oh, day before Halloween.
Nice.
Halloween's on a Sunday.
Yuck.
I like that. On the Sabbath. I'll take it. Party. Yeah, I think he gets a title shot, dude. He'll fight the winner of that fight. And I would say of the two, Jan would give him the most problems.
I agree.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Aljamain Sterling, do you follow him on social media? Dude, he has been living it up.
Really?
Every picture he posts, he's like in some snow-capped mountain or on a beach, or he's like underwater staring at like a swordfish. Like it's all like beautiful, like vacation photos. Because he had to have neck surgery.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he had neck surgery recently, I guess.
Whoa. There's not that much recovery time between that?
I don't know. Let me go to
His last fight with Jan was just 2 months ago?
Sterling was expected to face Pierre. There's number 12. However, won the fight by disqualification. He became the first fighter in your season winning. The rematch with Jan is expected to take place in October. He had a neck surgery. It's not on his Wikipedia, but
Well, when was that fight?
that fight was in March.
Wow. Huh.
So that's 7 months. I don't know how much recovery time he needs, but
So yes, 7 months, but also, yeah, having the surgery, having recovery time, and then still needing like probably an 8-week camp or so.
well, look, if he
If-
wants to
if it
beat,
takes that long, but then again, he's fighting somebody that he already fought. So he's already had one camp, so he knows.
well, look, if
knows
he
what
wants to beat that guy, he needs to make major adjustments, or
Yeah.
he's Foxville.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's just been enjoying it, man. I think
Yeah.
everything he posts, it's like like I said, some beautiful vacation spot, and it's like, God damn. Hey, man, enjoy it while it lasts. It only lasts so long.
Yeah.
Who knows how long he's going to have that belt? And once he loses that belt, He'll still be a top 5 guy, but I don't know. Yeah, so TJ should get the title shot. And I don't think Corey Sandhagen should even lose his ranking. I think he should still be second. He went 5 rounds with a former 2-time champion. You, on most people's cards, you beat him. I don't think he should not be punished for that. I think he should be given a ton of credit too for fucking taking that fight. He could have been like, no, I'm waiting for my title shot. I'm clearly the next guy in line. Right?
It just sucks. It just sucks like all the time that has to be in between fights. Because because now we're waiting for a title, the title match to happen, which is not until October. So then you have to have the time in between that fight and then whoever, say it's Dillashaw, whenever that fight's going to happen, probably mid next year. And then if that's the case and Sandhagen stays number 2, do we have a Dillashaw Sandhagen 2?
No.
I mean, you don't. You could sell it easily. I mean, it was a 5-round fight that could have went either way.
I don't know if I want that if I'm Sandhagen.
You wouldn't want the title shot?
Are you saying if Dillashaw has the belt?
Yes.
Oh,
if
yeah, of course.
Dillashaw were to beat,
Oh,
we
yeah.
Okay.
Oh, of course. You know what I think the UFC might do?
But then all your other guys are in limbo too. Like,
check it out.
Does Sandhagen hold off until he gets a title shot, which could be the end of next year or possibly 2023? Or does he fight, a number 3 guy or number 5 guy or something like that?
I mean, you could make a case that he would fight Rob Font because Rob Font wants to get there. And then basically it's saying, all right, if you want your title shot, beat the number 3 guy, then you're locked in. Rob Font, he just beat Cody Garbrandt, which is impressive, but isn't impressive enough to get to be the next guy.
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
Well, I cut you off here a second ago. Sorry about that. What were you going to say?
Did you cut me on? I don't know.
I know you were trying to talk and I just kept on going.
I don't know. I probably didn't have much to say. Well, look, Rob Font, his last 2 victories are Cody Garbrandt, Marlon Moraes. He's won 4 in a row. I don't know. I don't know what you do with him. If you're him, what do you ask for? Do you ask for Sandhagen? Do you ask for the loser of the title fight and just kind of chalk it up to, all right, TJ gets the next title shot, or do you ask for TJ?
Right. But so it's either a holding out game or take a fight that if you lose, you're farther away from the belt.
He's going to have to fight. He can't hold out. So, yeah. It's a stacked division, though. It'll be fun.
Yeah, it is, dude.
It'll be fun.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm that curious to see what happens in the second Sterling Jan fight. I think I know the way it's going to go. I think Jan's going to beat the shit out of him, but I don't want it to be that way. I want Sterling to surprise us and come in with a better game plan, and I want it to be a good fight. But I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know if it is.
Well, the one thing, if that fight goes in Sterling's favor and he fights Dillashaw,
yeah,
he's got length and reach for sure. And if he can play, like last night, Sandhagen, when he was able to play the reach game with Dillashaw, he was dominating.
Yeah. He didn't like being pressured though. He didn't respond well to that in the second round.
He doesn't. He does a lot of like back fit, swing back fists and all that kind of stuff when he in pressure situations too, which I don't like. It's worked before, but it doesn't work against everybody. And it was against Dillashaw's quite a bit of a shorter opponent too. I think that came into play.
Yeah. Well, I think he made adjustments to it, but you could tell when he didn't know quite how to deal with it, he did not. But I think that's every fight. I say things like that, like I know what I'm talking about. But what fighter initially responds well to pressure? I mean, most have to find a way to, some fighters break. He didn't break, but I'm just saying, like, you could tell, like, he didn't know what to do at first. So I'm sure his coaches were like, all right, get back to this. Anyway.
Plus, it's hard to go against a fighter who's been off for 2.5 years and you haven't seen them fight and you don't know what they're, they could come back in with a completely different style than they've ever fought with before. You have no idea.
I think technically speaking, TJ did. He took a lot less angles. It was a lot less footwork, a lot less boxing. It was more pressure.
And part of that was his knee, I'm sure.
That probably had something to do with it also, yeah. Yeah.
That's what I was telling you last night. He got that knee wrenched. I'm hoping that's not like a MCL tear or something, because that'd suck to have to go into surgery for right after.
Yeah.
your returning fight. But
Yeah, I think if it was a tear, he would have been a lot more hurt than we saw.
yeah,
I would think, but I've never torn an MCL, so the
Right.
fuck do I know?
yeah. That's the main thing with this show is what the fuck do I know?
I don't know shit. I don't know shit. Don't listen to me. You know what I watched last? I watched. There's a documentary. I think it was on Amazon because it was an HBO documentary, but they did a documentary on the 3 Mickey Ward Arturo Gatti fights,
Okay.
and it was made the year that Arturo Gatti was nominated into the Boxing Hall of Fame.
Okay.
Really good documentary. If you like fighting and you just like good human stories, like it's really good. And I forgot, I don't know why, but I forgot the way that Arturo Gatti died, and it bummed me out. But I totally forgot. So, like, do you know that story?
I feel like I do, but not off the top of my head.
So, I think still to this day, like it's gone down that he committed suicide, but a lot of people think his wife murdered him.
Okay. Yeah.
Because of the way like his body was, and like the timeline of where she said she was, and like also the will was changed so that she got everything. Sketchy. So a lot of people think she fucking killed him, and she, at first was put in a jail and then was released, saying there wasn't enough evidence to say that she did, and just a bummer, dude. And they showed the pictures of him like in his pool of blood, and you're like, oh god,
Jesus.
And I think like most everyone on the documentary said like we couldn't believe that was Arturo Gatti. He was just this like, even though he fought at 140, like he was just this godlike figure for so long, and just see him there, just like, yeah, it's just a bummer. But it's a really good documentary. Mickey Ward, like for those that don't know the movie The Fighter with Mark Wahlberg and Christian Bale, that was based on Mickey Ward. And they talk about him fighting Gotti, but it's how the movie ends. They don't show him fighting Gotti, but the real Mickey Ward's in this, and he pays tribute to him because they actually became friends. It was a really good documentary, so I recommend that.
Cool.
Speaking of movies, you've never seen a war movie, I learned last night.
I have seen war movies. I just haven't seen a lot. I
Name
don't
some.
like, purposely take the time to watch them.
Name some.
Saving Private Ryan.
Okay, perfect. You started with
Jarhead.
that one. I think that's the most overrated war movie ever made.
Do you really?
Yeah. I learned some trivia about it though. So like they booked Matt Damon on that movie because they wanted an unknown, and I'm using air quotes there, actor to play that role. But before the movie was released, Good Will Hunting was released, and he won an Oscar. so much for that unknown actor thing, huh? Yeah, I think it's the most overrated war movie ever. Go on. Name some other ones you've seen.
I said Jarhead.
Wow. You would. Any others?
Give me some recommendations here on what you think I should watch.
Well, I mean, have you seen like the classics like Full Metal Jacket, Platoon?
I have, but it's been a very long time.
You've seen both of those movies?
I have, yes.
Okay. Why didn't you name those over Jarhead?
Because Jarhead was newer, and that's the first thing that popped in my head. And I've seen it more recently.
What else have you seen? I responded with, what do you do? And of course you're like, I do this and that. And I'm like, well, doesn't mean you don't have time to watch movies. And I've seen you post on social media a TV of you watching something. So you have time to watch something. What do you watch? Like Big Bang
Sometimes.
Theory?
Oh yeah, all the time.
Do you really?
No.
Oh my God. We might have just ended our friendship right there. If you had said yes.
Well, sometimes I take a break and I watch How I Met Your Mother.
Oh my God. That is upsetting. What is that? Rainforest?
What?
Is that rainforest flavored? Whatever you're drinking there?
Oh, it's mango flavored Pepsi.
Oh my God.
It's actually pretty good. Do you like mango?
I didn't even know that existed. No, I don't like mango flavored any. I don't like mangoes. Do I like mangoes? No, I don't like mangoes.
Okay.
I'm not a big fruit guy.
Do you like cantaloupe?
I do.
I love cantaloupe.
I do like cantaloupe. I like cantaloupe and honeydew. I like apples.
Watermelon.
Despise watermelon. It's
Weirdo.
disgusting. Hate it.
I think that might make you un-American.
That's what everyone tells me. I don't like it, man. I think it's gross. The texture is disgusting.
Strawberry.
It's nothing but water. It gives me diarrhea. Strawberries, nah.
About pears.
No, God, no. I ate all of these when I grew up, but I don't like. I'm not a big fruit guy anymore.
I
Just don't.
I can't
I love pineapple. I love pineapple.
love pineapple.
Yeah. Anyway, let's not
I
get into a
can't-
food
I
discussion.
can't. I can't ever think about pears without thinking about Sunny.
Tastes like sand.
I eat stickers all the time, dude.
He stickers all the time. How did we get on fruit? Where did that come from?
Mangoes in my Pepsi.
Oh yeah, what the fuck are you doing to yourself?
I don't know. It tastes good.
So that's a regular Pepsi?
Well, no, it's a Pepsi Zero.
Oh my god. So at least there's no sugar.
I
What does
couldn't
that
tell you the
taste
last time
like?
I couldn't tell you the last time I had a regular soda.
It's been a long time. I'm
It's always,
not
it's
gonna
always-
lie, I would smash a fucking can of ice cold Coca-Cola right now. I would destroy it.
That has to be the thing you said the most on this show.
Really?
Over all the episodes, at least like every third episode, you talk about an ice cold can of Coke.
And you know what? Still haven't had one. I wish I could.
I applaud your bravery.
Yeah. That's more like willpower, but sure.
Whatever.
If I were being brave, I would just drink the fucking thing.
No, you got a point. You got the COVID vaccine. You should be able to drink Pepsi now. and be
Oh,
fine.
I'm glad you said that. One last thing.
God, sorry. I didn't.
This
mean to-
person who was arguing not being vaccinated, overweight, and a smoker.
Who are you
So
talking about?
you're afraid of the vaccine, but you'll smoke. And you'll eat
Who are you
yourself
talking
in.
about?
Remember earlier I was talking about the person who was arguing against the vaccine?
Oh,
And they gave me the
okay.
they used the old, well, I get in a car every day and whatever.
Gotcha. Okay.
Don't do that. Don't argue with me if you're going to be a smoker and be overweight and be unhealthy and you're worried about the vaccine. You put worse shit in your body. Fuck off.
But there's not microchips in your hamburgers.
There's microchips in your goddamn phone, you imbecile. I love how that's also like people are literally using a device that is being tracked to go onto Facebook and say you're a sheep because you get the vaccine because you're microchipped and now the government can track you.
Yeah.
Love it.
And your phone also has like all of your debit card information in it because you go to Amazon and in 2 clicks you've ordered,
Your toilet paper.
Toilet paper. Well, that's weird that we both picked toilet paper.
Well, during this time, that's what people are doing.
Are we back to that?
I don't know. I'm glad that we had toilet paper on rotation long before the pandemic ever started. So when it did start, I'm like,
always
shit,
been this way.
I should start selling this shit. This shit's like this is currency right now. I did want to say one other thing too. I forgot to say it.
Okay.
The same white people that I was talking about earlier that didn't want the Cleveland Indians name to exist anymore are the same people whose Twitter profile picture it says defund the police. Those are the same white people I'm talking about. And these are the same white people who, when they hear a noise in their backyard, will call 911. Who do you think's showing up when you call 911? You jerk. Anyway. And with that, I have nothing left.
It's about time. Only took an hour and a half from that to happen.
I forgot to say it earlier. Those white people really bother me.
Okay.
Just clip that out.
Flip it out. Okay. I can do that.
Those white people really bother me.
That's a good title for the show.
Possibly. That might offend people.
You think?
I'm sure it will.
Okay.
But
Then we'll use it for sure.
you know who doesn't care?
Joe Rogan, because he has $100 million in the bank.
Satisfaction and all the eyes on us. Yes, get off your feet.